Hello, Year 3, it's Miss Palmley here. Just to say, this is the last video that I'll be doing for this year. I'd want to say a big well done for all of your hard work, both in school and during lockdown. I'm hoping that I'll be able to see quite a lot of you on Monday when you come in for your transition visit. I'll be popping in to say hello. Keep working hard for the last final week. I know you can work hard and do your best. Activities will be set mainly on Purple Mash, with a few activities from Bite Size and also a music project from Mrs. Key. Now I'm going to read one last final chapter about Hilda and her adventures, and this chapter is called Hilda Goes Hitchhiking. The following morning, Hilda preened her feathers with special care. She was going to hitchhike properly today, and she was sure no driver would stop for a scruffy hen. She was just putting the finishing touches to her tail when Clarissa burst into the hen house, flapping her wings with a lot of fuss and shaking her untidy head. She looked across at Hilda. "Where you're wasting your time," she said. "It's raining." Hilda quietly went on working at her tail. "Did you hear what I said?" demanded Clarissa. "It's pouring with rain. Half the yard is flooded. You'll have mud up to your wishbone by the time you reach the gate." Hilda shuddered. Clarissa did use such vulgar expressions. "I can at least start out looking more respectable," she said. "And my feathers will be far more waterproof if they're properly arranged." "You're just a fusspot," said Clarissa. Hilda cocked a bright eye at her. She was tempted to say something about moth-eaten old boilers, but she sensibly kept it back. When Hilda was ready, she stepped out of the hen-house door. Clarissa was right about the rain. It was a very wet day indeed. Hilda picked her way carefully across the yard, trying to avoid the puddles. There was nobody to see her off today, except a few ducks, and they were much too busy enjoying themselves to take much notice of her. One gentleman duck did bow to her as she went past and said, "Lovely day." But that was all. When she reached the road, Hilda stationed herself under a large tree which gave her some shelter from the rain, and practised thumbing a lift. It was really quite difficult to balance on one claw and gesture with the other. She fell over several times before she got it right. She tried it on a green sports car at first, but the driver didn't even see her. "I wish I were white," she thought. "Speckly brown isn't a very showing up sort of colour." After 2 more cars had gone straight past without stopping or even slowing down, Hilda began to feel a bit hopeless. Who was going to bother to stop and pick up a small soggy hen in this weather? But somebody did. Just when Hilda was almost ready to give up, she saw a lorry coming. She decided to have one last try. The lorry was not going very fast, and as it came nearer, Hilda got ready. As it drew abreast of her, she fluttered up onto the bonnet and perched there on one claw, hopefully wagging the other one in the direction of Much Wallop. The driver peered unbelievably through the windscreen wipers. A hitchhiking hen! He had occasionally given lifts to husky young men with shorts and rucksacks, but a hen? He stopped the lorry, slammed down the window, and poked his head out to the rain. "Well, hello there. Do you want a lift to Much Wallop? Come on then, you'd better come in before you're washed away." Hilda was so relieved. She hopped onto the enormous hand the young man had put out for her, and allowed herself to be drawn inside the cab. "My, you are wet," he said kindly, setting Hilda down beside him on the seat. "I'll put the heater on for a bit." He closed the window and turned a knob on the dashboard. They started off, and soon there was a comforting wave of warm air filling the cab. After a few minutes, Hilda was steaming like a little engine. "Well, this is very nice," the young man said. "I like a bit of company when I'm driving. It stops me going to sleep." They drove on for a little while. Hilda began to get a bit worried. They must be nearing Much Wallop now. Her auntie's farm was just this side of the village, and she didn't know how to tell the young man she wanted to get off. She hopped onto his lap and jiggled up and down, peering out of the window and clucking gently. "What's this then?" said the young man. "You want to tell me where I'm to put you down, is that it? Well, you squawk good and loud when we get there, and I'll stop for you. All right?" Hilda nodded. She watched for the 2 white posts outside Auntie's farm. There they were! Hilda squawked. The young man pulled up so sharply that he nearly shot Hilda through the windscreen. "There you are. How about that for your service? It's stopped raining for you too. Mind how you go now." The young man opened the door and helped Hilda down the step. "Wait a minute, though. How are you going to get home?" Hilda cocked her head on one side and looked hopefully at him. "You want me to take you home, do you?" chuckled the young man. "I dunno, these hens. Well, as it happens, I shall be passing about tea time. If you're waiting for me here by the post at 5 o'clock, I'll pick you up. All right, bye-bye then. Be seeing you." He slammed the door and the lorry rumbled off. Hilda looked across at the farm and sighed with happiness. She was here at last. She looked carefully both ways, crossed the road, There was a little group of hens just by the gate. Excuse me, Hilda said. I'm looking for my aunt, Mrs. Emma Hen. Oh, you'll find her in the field over there with her new family, said one of the hens. Just through that white fence. She pointed to a field with a lot of white copse dotted about. Hilda thanked her and hurriedly, excitedly, across. She squeezed under the fence and looked about her. Which of the coops was Auntie's? There were so many of them, all exactly alike. Just at that moment, the farmer's little girl began to go down the row of coops, letting out the hens for their morning exercise. In a few minutes, the field was full of proud mothers with their families in tow, like fat kites with long yellow tails jerking in the wind. Each family of little chicks lined up one behind the other after their mother, and wherever she went, no matter how many times she changed direction, they followed in scuttling procession. Hilda was just wondering how she would find Auntie among all these hens, when one kite broke away from the rest and came rushing to meet her. Hilda, how lovely to see you! It was Aunt Emma, and behind her tumbled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little pom-poms, all cheeping hard. Well, Hilda was glad that she had come. There were no chicks on Biddick's farm. Mary was the youngest, and she was a pullet, a sort of teenager hen. Hilda had never seen chicks at close hand before, and she loved them. Chicks were fun, though they thought Hilda was fun too. She played all sorts of games with them. Their favourite was a chasing game. Their mother had to run about while with the chicks streaming behind her, twisting and dodging, while the fox, Hilda, tried to catch the littlest one at the end of the line. The chicks cheeped with excitement as Hilda chased them and pounced again and again. She always missed until the littlest one began to get caught on purpose. Follow my leader, while the mother had a nice rest. And then they were tired out. The chicks demanded a story, so Hilda settled them around her and told them all about her week's adventures. She told them about the dust cart and the fire engine and the steamroller and Miss Smith's scooter and the lorry. Goodness, she said when she got to that bit. The young man said he would pick me up at about 5. I must fly. Oh, not yet. Tell us another story, Hilda. Please tell us another story, begged the chicks. You're a great success, said Auntie as they saw Hilda to the fence. It's the first peaceful afternoon I've had since they hatched. Please come and see us again. Yes, please do, chanted the chicks, bobbing up and down. Well, I'll do my best, Hilda said, but you know how it is. I did have a little difficulty getting here this time. So, I just want to say once again, it's been an absolute pleasure being your teacher, Year 3. I know it's sad we didn't get to finish off this year altogether, but as I said, I'll pop in and see those of you who are in on Monday. And you're only in the classroom next door, so I'll still get to see lots of you. So well done for working hard, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye-bye.